Farm Dabis is situated in Namibia, a most beautiful country in the deep southwest of Africa. Bordering on the oldest desert of the world, the Namib, farming activities take place in a harsh semi-desert with an average of 100 to 125 millimeters of rainfall per year. Resources, especially rain, are scarce, and running a farm here demands a very special positive attitude and an innovative mind.
A common sight in this area is the wind pump, which has served for centuries to pump water from under the earth to where it can be utilized. When observing a wind pump, you will probably notice the smoothly turning turbine. Without this turning turbine, the wind pump would not be able to do its job, namely pump water from the borehole to the surface where it can be used for all life-giving processes. But would the turbine be able to do its job without the tower it is constructed upon? And how about the tower? Could it stand without being rooted in the desert sand with a solid foundation? And last but not least, what use would the whole construction have if it wasn't planted on a borehole that actually bears water?
Just like the wind pump, various essential elements depend on each other in order for us to run a productive farm, and all need to be managed and cared for well to give us an optimal output. These elements comprise of animal production, infrastructure management, pasture management, and last but definitely not least, soil health. The following slides will go into some detail on how each element is handled on Farm Dabis.
On Dabis, we farm with a special home-bred sheep breed. This special breed was developed through a hybrid of selected breeding material and natural selection. Since its beginning in 2002, it has matured into a relatively uniform breed that boasts the following properties. Appearance: small but broad frame, ideal for meager pasture turnover. Small feet for walking in rocks. Small snout for fine browsing. Short hair, no shearing needed. Color: white for heat deflection, but black pigment at all soft body parts, ears, eyes, snout, feet, undertail, for robust cancer resistance. Behavior: grazing or browsing in small groups, but gather as herd for night or in high-risk situations. Excellent fertility with 3 to 6 lambs per ewe in 24 months. Production: very drought resistant. Ewes produce for 8 to 9 years. Lambs are marketed at 3 to 6 months with carcasses weighing 12 to 16 kilograms. Beautiful, dry pasture, medium fat meat with an even fat layer. Excellent skins for clothing leather. Farming intensity: free ranging, very uncomplicated in handling, ideal for drought-prone areas. Producing a fine product like this is based on some extremely important factors, namely, excellent health and prevention of losses. To ensure excellent health, the sheep must have access to excellent quality water, have access to excellent pasture, be able to feed in a stress-free environment, and be able to feed as long as they need to be fully nourished. Further farming successes come with prevention of losses through accidents, sickness, and predators or stock theft. Both these conditions take us to part 2 of our wind pump metaphor. The tower, or directly speaking, the farm infrastructure. About 80% of our efforts go into maintaining and upgrading our farm's infrastructure. Water infrastructure. Our farm area is supplied with water by one water pump and a large reservoir for every 1,000 hectares. Boreholes have a water level depth of between 6 and 130 meters and are being fed by rivers that flow annually, usually at least once a year. Each pump and reservoir are linked to up to 6 water points that can be utilized collectively or individually. Benefits of this are quick access to water points for livestock to prevent long thirst stretches, and close water points force game to move away from areas, ensuring a resting period for pasture. Water points are in form of long narrow troughs or large round troughs with a reservoir island to ensure maximum capacity and access for large numbers of animals at the same time. Waters are being kept clean to ensure animal health and fertility.
Fencing infrastructure. The surface of the farm, 18,900 hectare, is divided into jackal-proof blocks of approximately 3,000 hectare, which in turn are divided by stock-proof fences into camps of 100 to 250 hectare. Cutting the farm into blocks enables us to have good predator control, with black-backed jackal, caracal, and baboon being the main predators. Each jackal-proof fence is heavily packed with rocks and on both sides, and gates are sealed at the bottom with a cement slab to prevent digging animals like porcupine or warthog to break through, and thus create a passageway for the jackal. Most jackal-proof fences are also electrified and connected to an alarm system to keep out caracal, baboon, and livestock thieves. The stock-proof fences allow us to rotate our herds from one camp to another every 3 weeks or so. This is vital to prevent overgrazing and to provide long resting periods for the pastures, which leads to pasture regeneration. This method also proves itself a fantastic parasite control measure, as parasites cannot survive longer than 10 months without a host. Our camps are clean when we move in again after 2 years. The herds are supplied with an ad-lib mineral supplement, which they only start eating once the capacity of the pasture has been utilized to a point where it does not supply enough nourishment anymore. At this point, we open the gate to the next camp, which the seeking herds naturally move towards, ensuring a stress-free transfer. By closing the water point at the previous camp, we encourage game to move along too, to give the pasture maximum rest, which it needs to regenerate itself. This is the base of our pasture management, the foundation of the wind pump, so to speak.
After being browsed off strongly over a short period, shrubs react with vigorous growth, like after pruning garden trees. The new growth needs a chance to grow out fully without being browsed off again immediately. This ensures shrub health and growth, which is essential for desert farming. Fully grown desert shrubs can provide up to 24 kilograms of green biomass per year without receiving a single drop of rain. By providing a short, heavy trimming and long resting periods, the naturally occurring desert feed shrubs stay in a good condition, and the farmer will find no need to buy feeds to maintain his stock. Optimal resting time is 2 years, as the desert shrubs often bear seeds only in year 2, guaranteeing enough seed reserves for the plant's long-term survival.
Examples of desert feed shrubs we cherish on Dabis are Salsola aphylla, Cadapa aphylla, Calicorema capitata, and Boschia fertida. These all occur naturally in Namibia's most barren deserts, if they have not been overgrazed thereby uncontrolled game traffic. Lately we have started an initiative to re-establish indigenous shrubs in areas in which pasture quality is low. Collecting seeds and nursing young plants to be transplanted into the field has proven to be successful in times with regular rains or places where young plants can be watered by hand. These young shrubs must be protected to prevent immediate consumption by animals. Our latest initiative is a seed block, which contains a collection of our favorite desert shrub seeds, some charcoal, cow dung, and insecticide, and is being planted in shallow ditches, which are in turn covered by thorny branches cut from larger shrubs. We trust that this preparation will prove itself successful once the next rains come.
Another initiative, rainwater harvesting, has been implemented on parts of the farm, although this segment might as well fall under the farm infrastructure. Heavily packed stone swales, as the ones we have on our jackal-proof fences, slow down the runoff waters during heavy thunderstorms. This helps prevent erosion, with the sweet result of more water remaining on and watering the arid landscape. Further, these swales act as seed catchers, making it easy for plants to become established on and further increasing the swale's effect. This has been one of the very recent developments and has not yet had a chance to prove itself, as we have not received substantial rainfall since its implementation. We are convinced, though, that our efforts will be rewarded.
Managing the livestock, infrastructure, and pasture in an ideal way to ensure soil health and quality is really the root of our farming and brings us to our final part of the picture. When there is no borehole under a wind pump, the whole structure on top will be completely pointless. In the same way, diminishing soils, however poor they happen to be in the desert anyway, will not yield enough life for survival. Whatever happens on top will reflect in the ground and again influence the output at the top. By being observant and sensitive, it is our highest goal to protect and nourish our land to enable it to produce at its very best. Optimal carbon content, biodiversity, and production data is used to monitor our progress. Preventing overgrazing at all cost, letting a variety of hooves tread our soils, like cattle, goats, sheep, and game, making sure soil is not left barren, and curbing soil erosion as much as we can are key steps we take to ensure good ground health. After all is said and done, any wind pump will be left without use if there is no wind to drive it. The only and most essential part that will make our farming flourish is completely out of our hands. So, when we have done all we could out there, we need to trust that it will find grace in God's eyes and that He will bless it to bear fruit.